Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we have a Mercenaries update video. So, we've got some new news today I wanted to share with everybody. Definitely wasn't kind of expecting much today, so pretty excited to talk about this stuff. So, getting right into it, a new patch dropped today for Hearthstone, mostly focused around bug fixes and a little bit of balancing for battlegrounds and duels. However, we did get some new mercenaries information along with that, as well as one bit of changes that I think a lot of people will be happy to hear about. So let's get into it here. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the page with the actual patch notes. So if we pull that up here, and we'll zoom in a little bit, make it a little easier to see. Like so. Basically, the only mercenaries relevant information for this patch that dropped today is in regards to the heroic bounties for Alterac Valley. So if you don't know, the new mercenaries that were dropped in the last patch, Belinda, Localar, Sinestra, Galvangar, and Rathion all have their items locked behind the heroic bounties, or at least one of their items. Previously, it would be task 7 that would get you that item, and now you have to complete that specific heroic bounty with that mercenary in your party in order to unlock the item for them. This was a somewhat controversial change, as some people really preferred the ease of access of task 7, and on top of that, for players with not a very developed collection, with a lot of different mercenaries leveled up, probably had a much harder time dealing with these often challenging PvE fights compared to people like me who've been playing since day one and have a lot of the characters fully maxed out. So basically what they did was they decided to lower the difficulty of some of these fights. So the actual text here says, lower the difficulty of the Snowclaw, High Justice Grimoire, Captain Galvangar, Localar the Ice Lord, and Drekthar heroic bounties, and both normal and heroic versions of the Lewis Phillips bounty. So, pretty cool. I think this is a much welcome change. Personally, I didn't have a super hard time with most of the new heroics. However, that Drekthar fight was absolutely miserable and RNG dependent. So I'm really happy to see a change for that. And I think overall, this is a very positive change that is worth doing. If they really want to keep giving heroics a purpose of putting these items behind it, you don't need to make them the easiest fights in the world, but I don't think you should be making them quite as hard as they are if you're going to be locking progression behind it, because it makes things rather difficult for newer players who might want to just get into the game and start leveling the new cool characters. So in terms of what we actually got in the game with the patch, that is the main thing. However, there was some other news. So if we actually go back to the game here and we check in our mailbox, we will see coming soon, Lunar New Year special event. So prepare your village for a celebration. New mercenaries, bounties, and a limited time visitor, Chi Jai, are all arriving in the near future. So I don't think anyone was really expecting this. Obviously, we were expecting more mercenaries and bounties this month. As they have told us, they are going for a monthly release schedule with that kind of stuff. However, did not expect to see any kind of special event focused on mercenaries anytime soon, given how relatively new the mode is. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't really know what this is going to be, but we do actually have a tweet we can look at here in a minute to give a little bit of background on who this character is and their kind of significance, so we can do a little bit of theorizing as to what might be coming with them. Now, before we do that, though, I do think one thing that would be great if they could do is I would love if we could get some bug fixes and game improvement stuff in the mailbox. So obviously we have this in the mailbox, but I think it'd be fantastic if we press the button right here, and instead of seeing the thing, oh, the new mercenaries have arrived, it would be great if we had a page that said, hey, the difficulty for these heroic fights has been lowered, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who casually play this game who have no idea that things have been changed, and the heroic fights may have been too hard for them before. Now they might be a little bit more reasonable, but I think that's a change that has to be better communicated in-game to the player base and should not just be left to patch note updates to kind of get the word out there. But yeah, focusing more on the event, we're going to pop back over to Twitter here, and we can see Chijai is coming to Mercenaries, limited time event. So here we have a picture of a character in World of Warcraft, and I guess she was used as a special event type thing there as well. I don't really have much of a WoW background, so don't really know a whole lot about this, but if we take a look at the wiki page posted here, mentions that Chijai, the Red Crane, is one of the 4 creatures known as the August Celestials, who watch over Pandaria. Chijai watches over the Valley of the Four Winds and Karasrang Wilds, and is sometimes referred to as the Southern Celestial or the Spirit of Hope. As such, he is served by the Crane Wing Order. So, obviously, that doesn't really tell us a lot. Perhaps if you have played with this kind of event in WoW, maybe you have a little bit of an idea as to what they might be doing with it in Mercenaries, but I don't really know. So just kind of, excited to see we're getting some kind of event, because I was a little bit disappointed that the last event they did for Alterac Valley with the Horde and Alliance wasn't really represented in Mercenaries at all. You couldn't earn any progression towards that in Mercenaries, which I thought was kind of a shame. So it is nice for them to kind of be giving us our own special event, and it's certainly not something I saw coming. So no idea what this is going to be, but presumably it is coming, as they say here, in the near future. So I would imagine, taking a guess here, 2 weeks from now is probably when we're going to be seeing this stuff, as we do know it's going to be sometime in February. And if we take a look at the calendar right now, there are only 2 Tuesdays left in February, because what would be the third Tuesday is actually the 1st of March. So I would really not be surprised to see this patch go out on February 22nd. I believe it is also after the Masters Tour event, which I think they do not want to release the cards before that to give the competitors time to prepare and all that stuff. So we got an ETA here, nothing official confirmed, but we do know that a little bit later this month, we're going to be getting our typical Mercenaries update with a little bit of stuff on top of that. Now, there's one more thing I do want to mention here, and it is a issue that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is the MMR issues we've been having in Mercenaries. So we'll pull back up Twitter here, and we can see we actually had a few members of the community asking about the leaderboard stuff, and we did actually get a little bit of confirmation here. So for those who don't know, Deck, he's one of the people who interacts with the community, kind of the similar role as Alkali in terms of helping out with communication in the community. So he did get asked about the issues with MMR and the leaderboard problems. For those who don't know, MMR is currently capped at 14K, and it kind of is invalidating a lot of the end of season leaderboard stuff, and we've been dealing with this for about 2 months now. So here we can see, he says that something that was brought up to the team a bit ago, and the team has worked on it. An update on this is expected soon. So I'm crossing my fingers here, and I'm really, really hoping that if this has already been worked on, that it's something that can be shipped in the next patch when we get the new mercenaries and this kind of limited time event. Dallas here actually asks if we do have any kind of exact timetable. Unfortunately, no specific time announced right now, but that's not exactly surprising given that we don't even have an announcement for when the mini set's coming out. They do tend to have these things pretty set up in advance, so not really surprising that we aren't getting a specific date for a fix like this, but it is worth mentioning that the dev team did agree this is not the experience they want for the mode, so they are doing the work to fix it. So hopefully it will not take too much longer. I'm really hoping that we can get this resolved in patch 22.4, which will, if my predictions are correct, be going up on the 22nd of February. It would be great if we could get it before the end of this month, so potentially we don't have a third month with a pretty much almost pointless leaderboard. But that is pretty much all the news here. I just wanted to get this out, so if you didn't see it, that way people know kind of what's going on and know what we have to kind of look forward to in the not too distant future. So if you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.